Deathstroke number 25, which is the oversized issue, as we said. It's the for like all the other issue 25s have had. It's had a bit of a meteor issue. Christopher Priest writing and Carlo Pugliese on art. So the society got him at the end of the last issue.
Yep.
And in this one, he's basically strapped to a device, a table thing, and we've got a round table with the society members, and he's hallucinating. You can kind of tell that Hector Hammond's kind of messing with his head, and he's thinking of these things from his past, but they're not really, because he's still talking like he has all the experience of the adult Deathstroke, but he's a kid.
Yeah.
It's messing with.
He's consciously aware this is looking back at something, and it's not happening now.
Yeah, and it basically becomes this debate about whether or not he's evil or not. And honestly, my favourite thing about this trial is that it brings in some other, because we mentioned why is Killer Frost there, and I like that Vandal Savage brings up. Yeah, there's a worrying trend with some of our colleagues here in the evil world. Lex Luthor notably has been playing hero for a while now, and then Killer Frost is working with the Justice League of America, like. And I actually kind of like the villains as a whole are like, what's going on? More of us are turning good. Now Deathstroke's playing hero with all his kiddie teammates.
That's it. I really like how, Killer Frost is like, look, we all know this isn't just about Deathstroke. This isn't just about Slade. This is about all of us. I'm here. We all know I'm running off, with the Justice League for Batman. This is about as much about me as it is him.
I like Riddler in this issue. Riddler trying to figure things out, and he's constantly dropping his little riddles. I liked it.
Yeah, it's fun.
I liked how he was more of a traditional Riddler here, because we had that sort of more edgier one in Batman recently, in the flashback story. But I feel like here this is a bit more typical.
I like the idea that we can have both, because that Batman one that was in the past. It was like he was young, he was brash, and
that said,
his defeat
he still
is kind
has
of mellowed.
the question mark scar across his chest, which I kind of like.
Oh sure, yeah.
That it's under there, and he's trying to hide from that.
Yeah, continuity. I do like that his hair's a bit floppier though. Like because I like Riddler with a bit more messier look to him.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But no, I like that he's basically being the attorney and trying to prove whether or not he's evil.
Yeah, he's the court-appointed attorney on top of it. Because there's nothing in it for him to win or lose. You know what I mean?
It cracked me up though when he stood up and said, "I am Riddler for the defense." I'm like, he's defending him. It cracked me up. And then we have what I was pretty sure was like an hallucination, but you think Deathstroke gets out, like he actually breaks free because his suit has backup power, and he gets out. And I do actually like his strategy here. Like he goes to right, Hector Hammond needs to be dealt with first because he can mess with my mind, and then Reverse Flash has to be next because he's a speedster. He's the next most dangerous. And I liked how he worked down them in order of priority. It was like, no, this is the ones that I have to deal with first, and he kind of, in a Batman-esque way, is just kind of because Deathstroke kind of wins and beats them all.
Yeah.
But it turns out all to be bullshit. It's all in his head. And basically they actually say, see, this proves he's still evil. If he got out of those restraints, he would kill all of us. So he's still Deathstroke.
I love when Manta stabs him, and he just gets up with it still inside him and just keeps going. That's that's why he earned the name Deathstroke the Terminator.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he just keeps coming at you like the Terminator, no matter what you do to him. Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So no, that's, and Riddler rests his case, and I think interestingly from the book as a whole, like looking at everything that's been happening, you look at that and say, well, have they just proved that he is really still evil, and that this is all an act, and that this is just all going to fall apart soon?
The question is what he did evil, or is it self-preservation, and is he evil for taking out the villains? Because to him, I don't think he would see that as evil.
Oh no, that's true. But at least recently he's been trying not to kill people. If he's the sort of anti-hero who decides, no, I'm still going to be a hero, but I have no problem killing villains. Like then
he's
that's
Punisher then.
Yeah, he's Punisher basically. Yeah. Which for Deathstroke seems fairly likely, to be honest.
Yeah. I always kind of felt that's where he should be, anyways. Because if you look at the Punisher, he doesn't get along with all the heroes, and they don't need him to. But I always liked that he had that weird respect for Captain America, in Civil War. When Cap dismissed him, he didn't argue. He was like, okay. And, I kind of I would like a respectful, he's gone around with Superman, so if Superman tells him, Deathstroke, this isn't your fight, then...
I think Deathstroke does have a respect for, Batman and Superman especially, those. He goes, You know, he thinks he can win because, you know, he's like Batman where he'll plan. He's like, no, I think I can win, but I think he does respect them still.
Yeah. So if he says, you know, that whatever crisis happens, Deathstroke, this isn't your fight. We don't need you here causing casualties. So I'm like, okay, cool. Other stuff to do. See you later.
Yeah.
And here, so is this a Grundy that comes and picks him up? Like,
do you know, I was hoping you'd have the answer for me because I wasn't sure who this guy is either.
I was like, is it a Grundy? Is it meant to be a Bizarro?
Yeah, I wasn't too sure.
We should mention though, if you've not actually looked at the book, you're just listening to us talking about it. So at the end of this, they're about to let Deathstroke go, and through the roof, this big dude in a Deathstroke costume,
The classic Deathstone costume as well, not the current one.
Yeah, with half the face revealed, and you see it's like a grey Hulk-like figure. So you know that's why we were guessing Grundy, we're guessing Bizarro. I don't know if it's either of those. Like I feel like it's maybe just someone else that we're going to find out about.
Oh, I remember this now.
Oh, go on.
This is Icon. They put Icon in his essence.
Yeah.
In whatever that was.
Yeah, you're right.
This is like 10 issues ago.
Right. Okay.
When he fell, right, and Jericho ends up with his suit, where Jericho killed him. They put his essence in this other creature, and I can't remember what this was.
That's right.
Yeah.
What's funny though is there's like 10 editor's notes in this to go back to other issues, but none of this has one.
Nope.
We could have used this one for here.
And do you know what else doesn't have one? Explaining why Reverse Flash is there.
Yeah.
Well, because they can't explain that yet, because we don't know why he's there.
No, I know, but just say, you know, coming in a future story. You know, we got that in last week or the week before.
Yeah. I'm glad that Killer Frost was explained though. They actually did explain that properly, and it tied into the theme of what the story was. So that worked out well. Like, so I can't fault them for that.
No, I really enjoyed this. I think it was interesting to use the 25 issue. You know, they've totally been celebrations of the run, celebrations of the character. This has been okay. Let's use it to look at Deathstroke and who Deathstroke is.
The character.
Yeah, it was like an analytical issue looking back at who he is.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think that's a really interesting way of doing it.
And I liked all the villains being there, and obviously at the end when he does get kidnapped by this icon monster-esque person, is that we see the rest of the team, the Defiance, been like, hey, Deathstroke's not been gone for a while, and they're like, he's a Terminator, it'll be fine. And then it cuts to like him being dangled off a roof by this monster. Yeah. It's like, okay, right. Yeah. So, no. So I expect they'll end up saving the day somehow for him, which will maybe legitimize them in his eyes a little bit more, because obviously he treats them like kids constantly. So maybe them having
they are pretty much kids.
Well, yeah, sure, but like I feel like
two of them literally are his kids
coming and saving him. Well, Jericho was getting married, so he's not that young.
So I don't have that conversation with my dad weekly. Like, don't talk down to me. I'm 32 years old. He's like,
exactly.
Kid.
Well, that's my point. I'm saying they're not all necessarily that young. Some of them are. Obviously, Wally's like 13, 14, whatever he is. But
right.
So no, it was a really good issue actually.
Yeah, definitely.
Felt like it was playing up everything we've been building to, and set up the next stuff. I just wish I'd remembered the setup for that monster at the end a bit better.
I think I'm gonna really look forward to rereading this whole run come the end, because I feel like it's and there's been so many points so far I've gone, okay, all that stuff's kind of come together, and then it sets up another bunch of things for 10 issues, and then it all comes together again. So I'm looking forward to, once I know the full story, just reading through all of it and seeing all the threads.
I read this on Wednesday, and it took me that long to realize it was Icon, just because of the way he spoke. Because I was like, wait, that's not Grundy, that's not...
Yeah.
So an editor's note would have been nice, but like Connor just said, I think if you read this all in one big chunk, it'll flow a little bit better.
Yeah, I think that's part of the problem with the Shifter Monthly is these things are a little bit longer ago than they would have been planned to have been. Like when he originally wrote that issue, it was still on a double shipping schedule, so he thought, okay, it's going to be memorable enough in 3 months instead of 7.